relaxation meditation. As we begin, bring your attention to your breath. Let your awareness find your breath somewhere in your torso that it feels comfortable for you to bring your attention. Could be your heart, could be your solar plexus, which is right below your heart. Could be deep in your belly. Just let your awareness find your breath where it feels comfortable, and just focus on the experience of the breath. Should be a comfortable breath, a natural breath, a little slower perhaps, maybe a little deeper, but only if it feels comfortable. And just bring all your awareness to your breath. Focus on the sensation of it gently filling and then emptying through the chest cavity. As we go through the meditation, always keep some part of your awareness on your breath in the background. And if you find your mind wandering, just come back to the breath. So as we begin, just notice what your thoughts are. Don't engage the thought. Just notice, maybe even with a little curiosity. It's almost like you're witnessing or an observing from a third-person point of view. And then just notice what you're feeling, which may or may not be associated with the thought. And again, it's from an observing or a witnessing point of view. Again, maybe with a little curiosity. And notice if a feeling is associated with a certain part of your body. Again, don't think too much about it, just notice. And notice if that may be a little different context than where the thought comes from. And then bring yourself very, very present. Most of the time what that means is maybe becoming very hyper aware of your senses. Again, just experiencing the senses and not really thinking about them as much, but just noticing the sounds, noticing what your body feels like in the position that you're in, the weight of your body on the chair or on the floor or wherever you may be. So now bring your attention to your eyes. And intentionally let go of all the stress, tension, tightness that surrounds the sockets of the eyes, all the tiny little muscles surrounding the eyes and moving the eyes. And as you do that, focus on the sensation of just release. Releasing the tension through the eyes, releasing through the breath. And physically feel the sensation of release. If we want, as you go through the meditation, you can repeat the word release on every out breath and physically feel the sensation of release as you breathe out. And bring your awareness to your face now, and let go of any kind of tightness or even any expression on your face, all through the cheek and the jaw. Then bring your awareness to your shoulders. And again, just letting go of any tightness or stress, tension through the shoulders. Physically feeling the sensation of just release. Then bring your awareness now again to your breath. Somewhere in your torso where it feels comfortable to bring your attention. And physically feeling the sensation of release with every out-breath. So somewhere in your awareness, always keep part of your attention focused on your breath. As we go through the practice, I'm going to ask you to imagine certain body parts and tighten certain body parts as we go through the meditation. But somewhere in the background, there's always part of your awareness just on the experience of the breath. So I'm going to ask you to tighten from your toes to the balls of your feet, through the arches of your feet and your ankles, your shins and your calves up to your knees. So from your knees to your feet, I want you to just tighten for a count of 3, 2, 1, and then physically let go and release. And then the next couple of breaths, imagining from your knees down to your feet, and just imagine those body parts just completely releasing. It almost feels like they're just beginning to melt. So now from your knees and all the tiny little muscles and ligaments and tendons around and throughout the knee, up through the thigh, the front of the thigh, the back of the thigh, and then very, very, very deep into the hip joint and all the muscles surrounding the hip joint. So from your hips to your knees, tighten for a count of 3, 2, 1, and then physically feel the sensation of release. Physically feeling the sensation of release. So the couple breaths after we tighten each body part, I want you to imagine that body part and imagine just completely releasing the tension and stress held in the body in those places. Okay, now from your hips on up through your torso, so your lower back and your lower abdominal area, and up into your upper back and your upper abdominal area and the front of your chest. Tighten for a count of 3, 2, and then 1, and then physically feel the sensation of letting go and releasing. And again, next couple of breaths, imagine those body parts and just imagine the sensation and feel the sensation of just complete release. Again, if you want, you can repeat the word silently to yourself, release, and just physically feel the sensation of release. Now from your shoulders and down onto your upper arm and then into your forearm and down into your hands, tighten for a count of 3, 2, 1, and then physically feel the sensation of release. Physically feel the sensation of release. Again, if it helps to hold the image of that body part, hold the image and just physically feel the sensation of release. And always in the background, feeling the experience of the breath, just gently filling and then emptying and filling and emptying. And every time the breath empties from your body, from your chest cavity, just feeling the sensation of release. So now I want you to imagine a wave of release slowly coming up through your body. And I'm going to name some body parts again. And this time I just want you to imagine a wave of release or a wave of relaxation slowly beginning to come up and then around and engulf your body. So starting with your toes and working into the balls of the feet and into the arches of the feet and in up around the ankles, very slowly starting to work the way up through the calf and the shin, and very slowly just physically feeling the sensation of release, and deep into the knees, and then very slowly beginning to make its way up through the front of the thigh and the back of the thigh, and then deep into the hip joint. All the muscles, you have a whole lot of muscles and tendons and ligaments just holding your hips together. Just physically feel the sensation of release. And then very slowly, the wave of relaxation is coming up into your lower back and your lower abdominal areas. And very slowly beginning to make its way up through your torso. Then as you get a little bit higher than your waist, what I'd like you to do now is bring your awareness all around to your back. Again, always in the background is your breath. Now slowly coming up through the middle of the back, just feeling a wave of relaxation slowly coming up the back and then deep, deep into the shoulder blades, and then deep into the shoulder joint itself, and then very slowly working its way down through each of the upper arms, and then deep into the elbow and down into the forearms. And then into the wrists. You have a lot of tiny little muscles and bones all through the wrists and hands that tend to carry a lot of tension. So physically feeling the sensation of just release all through the wrists and down into the hands and the fingers. Almost feels like you're just melting into whatever you're sitting or lying on. And very slowly again bring your awareness up to the base of the neck, kind of where your neck meets your back, and then very, very slowly imagine the wave coming up through the back of the neck and the base of the skull, totally releasing. When we get to the base of the skull, I want you to imagine kind of a cap very slowly being unfolded from the base of the skull and very slowly beginning to encircle and engulf your scalp and your head. So rolling out around the sides and up the back side and just feeling the sensation of release as it begins to engulf your scalp and your head. Feeling the sensation of release as it comes around the sides of the temples and over the back. And then almost like a curtain, all the way across the top of the forehead. Now that wave begins to very slowly come down over the front of the forehead, straight across the forehead. It's coming down and gently going over your eyebrows, and then deep, deep into the eye sockets, all the little muscles surrounding the eye, behind the eye, physically feeling the sensation of release. Now coming down into the cheeks and into the jaw, and physically feeling the sensation of release of all the tension, all the stress that we typically keep in our jaws. And then bringing your awareness now down over the chin and down into the neck and the throat. Very slowly, a wave of relaxation coming down and into the upper part of the chest, and then deep into the chest where we hold so much tension and hold our breath. Just feel what it feels like to loosen up that area to just a very, very, very relaxed breath. And experiencing the breath. And then again, let your awareness find your breath at a point that feels comfortable for you. Somewhere from your chest to deep in your belly, and just bring all your awareness back to your breath. all the awareness comes back to your breath. Now, if it feels comfortable for you to do so, imagine or feel the felt sense of peace or serenity, and let your body just be engulfed with the sensation of what those senses feel like. If it helps to hold an image, you can hold an image and just let every cell in your body just soak with the feeling of peacefulness, a feeling of serenity. And again, all your awareness is on your breath. All your awareness is on your breath. Now, if it feels comfortable for you to do so, focus on the in-breath, and every time you breathe in the sensation or the felt sense of an attitude or an emotional state that you'd like to create for yourself right now. The felt sense of an emotional state that you'd like to come out of the meditation with. And each in-breath, feel like you're just breathing that sense in, just filling your body all the way from your fingertips to your toe tips, just deep, deep, deep breath in. And another deep, deep, deep breath in, just filling your body. And one more time. Then bring your awareness back to your breath now. Back to a normal meditative breath. And we're just going to very, very, very slowly transition out of the meditation. Just very slowly let your awareness begin to just make its way from your breath to the different sensations of your body. And maybe just very slowly beginning to become more aware of your external environment. And just pausing along the way of the transition. And just begin to slowly bring your awareness back to the room you're in. And pause and reflect. And when it feels comfortable, you can open your eyes. But again, pause. Just pause and reflect.